Hello friends, followers and channel members, welcome to another video here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it's certainly been a while since we last looked at a sim update. In fact, it has been 3 months since the last sim update number 11, and today number 12 gets released. As you would expect, the changelog for this sim update is quite extensive, and in today's video we're just going to highlight the key facts, but of course the full changelog will be linked to in the video description down below. Now, if you are playing Microsoft Flight Simulator on Xbox rather than PC, then this update is a huge deal. What the flight sim community have been crying out for, what airline developers have been crying out for, is now finally available. Yes, Webassembly, or WASM as it's sometimes known, has been brought to Xbox. What does this mean? Well, it certainly means that developers can now bring in much more advanced aircraft into Xbox, as we are used to seeing on the PC console. This means that developers such as Aerosoft, PMDG and Just Flight have already said that they're going to start to bring over their full range of aircraft to the Xbox now that WebAssembly has been released. Now, as expected, these developers have not released a timeline as to when they would expect to bring these high quality aircraft over to Xbox, but of course they're going to want to do it as soon as possible. However, we could still be waiting weeks, months, I hope not years, before we start to see these advanced aircraft appear on Xbox. Of course, this is great news for Xbox users. It means that all the high quality aircraft and deep technical stuff that you get with things such as the PMDG aircraft are soon to be available. One such aircraft which is instantly available following Sim Update 12 then on Xbox is the Antonov 225. Now, of course, if you've been playing Microsoft Flight Simulator on the PC, the Antonov 225 has been available for a few weeks now, but finally with the release of the WebAssembly, this means that the inbuilt Antonov can now be purchased from the marketplace on Xbox and enjoyed. Remember, all payments for this aircraft go towards the restoration and potential rebuilding of the Antonov 225, so it is a very worthy cause. For me personally, the best thing about sim updates are not always the new features that they add, but the improvements they make to the simulator. For example, with sim update number 12, this means that the loading time of the simulator has been improved. By how much? Well, I guess that depends on what you're running the simulator on, but I would love to hear in the comments down below, how long, just out of interest, does it take you to launch Microsoft Flight Simulator? And since the sim update 12 has dropped, have you noticed a significant time reduction from clicking the icon on the desktop and appearing at the in-game menu? Azobo and the team have also increased the download speeds for items that you get in the online marketplace. One of the other little annoying things that you used to see, and I'm sure you've seen on our streams, was when new weather injection was being injected into the simulator and you'd get clouds popping in and out, so suddenly you could go from really good visibility to instantly not very good at all as that new METAR was swooped in. Well, that has now been reduced in what they call cloud popping, so hopefully we will see smooth transitions from here on in. Now, for those of you who fly with AI traffic, either live traffic directly from Microsoft Flight Simulator or using an add-on such as FSLTL or even FS Traffic, one of the really annoying things about AI traffic was the fact that the taxi speeds weren't that great, and also things like the departures made aircraft that had just taken off sit and fly at quite a low altitude rather than climbing up as you would expect to see. Well, the overall AI traffic improvements seem to have taken care of many of these issues. Taxi speed has been increased, and it now means that aircraft when departing will actually climb rather than trundle along at around 3,000 feet. It also means that aircraft who fly a go-around procedure means they will also climb rather than just circling around at a low altitude. However, this of course is still limited to the default air traffic control and how that works. There has been some improvements in this update, and I'd love to hear what you guys think if you are using AI traffic rather than a live traffic injector such as VATSIM, for example. Let me know what you think following this update, what AI traffic is like. Is it better, and has it worked with regards to better separations and things things like climbing aircraft. The popping in and out of clouds aren't the only things to have been improved as well in this update. The thermals have been tweaked as well, so these are now much more realistic. For example, the thermals don't go above the certain cloud layers that they should, as they don't in the real world. And this also means that the turbulence over high areas of terrain has now been reduced. You will have all experienced, I'm certain, when flying over somewhere like the Alps, that the turbulence that you can sometimes get in the aircraft was perhaps a little on the tough side, and while in some cases this is realistic, it seemed to be quite often that happened, so that has now been dialed down. Another huge improvement to those of you who are cockpit builders out there and like to pop out your displays and screens. If you do this, usually you would pop them out and then you could drag them around to wherever you prefer them to be, but then the next time you come back to your simulator or back to a certain aircraft, the screens were just in the default place. Following this update, those screen positions are now saved, so for those of you who are building home cockpits and things like that, no more will you have to drag and reposition the screens every single time you load an aircraft or the simulator. These should now be saved, which is obviously a huge improvement. Now onto some exciting scenery news following this update. All of the places in the world that have previously had a world update, and there have been 12 of them, have since been also revisited with this update to tidy lots of things up. So where terrain meets certain new airports and things like that, everything now should look a lot neater and tidier. So you'll have to now go revisit all of those wonderful places that we've had updated over the past 2 years, and you should see much more improved terrain and scenery. Finally then, the next big thing with regards to scenery is what the developers are calling a World Hub. So what is the World Hub? Well, full details of this have not yet been released, but the idea seems to be that it will give us, the users of Microsoft Flight Simulator, a place to change the scenery where we think something might be missing or something needs improving, and then actually upload that for the Azobo team to check, and then that will become a default setting across the entire world and everyone using Microsoft Flight Simulator. So for example, if one of the default airports has really poor night lighting, which let's be honest, many of them do, if you want to just quickly go in and add some more light sources to it just to spruce it up a bit, then you can then submit that change to Azobo. They will then obviously review it, and if they acknowledge that yep, this is absolutely fine, and they will then pop it live onto the servers, which means that the entire population who is playing Microsoft Flight Simulator will get your improvement. I guess it's a little bit like mods, but they're not really going to be classed as mods because that will then become the new default. As I say, this is still a work in progress, and at the moment there are around 50 closed beta testers working on this, and they cannot release it until after Sim Update 12. How quickly that will work, if they're happy with how things have gone, time will tell. But I think this is really exciting. For example, so many people when the simulator came out said my house was missing from the Microsoft Flight Simulator world. Well, this could actually give you the ability to pop your house into the simulator world for not just you, but everybody who plays the simulator to see. How this is going to work and be managed, time will tell, but I think it would be probably done almost silently to us users flying over, and we wouldn't notice all of the tweaks and updates, because if this is a success, you can imagine there could be many hundreds, indeed even thousands. But to me, anything that makes the simulator world look more realistic, I'm all for. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like, and of course if you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and of course turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any future video content and live streams. Thank you so much. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye for now.